Hello, my name is Reza Pramudya. I'm from class 331807 and I want to retell about audio 1, 2, and 3, and now I'm gonna retell the audio 1. Audio 1 is talking about H.K. Leiden and Scott's whims. Okay, so here's a joke. A man sitting on the veranda with his wife one night when out of the blue it says I love you. His wife says, was that you or was that the bear talking? The man says, that was me talking to the bear. Maybe you found that funny. I find that hysterical. What makes a joke funny is a question that has beside the human condition since we lost our tails and started walking upright. But can scientists tell us today why we laugh? Scott Swims is a cognitive neuroscientist and the author of the book The Silence of When We Laugh and Why. And he joined us from a member station Square in Little Rock, Arkansas. Thanks for being with us, Scott Swims. Thank you very much for having me. Tell me a joke and let me break down a little bit, would you? Sure. I should warn you that as scientist I'm not trained very well to tell jokes, but I'll do my best. But alright. So a dog walks in the telegraph office and he says, I want to send a message. And the operator says, sure. What would you like to send? And the dog says, woof, 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 woof. And the operator pauses a second and goes, you know, the only 9 you can send 10 wolves for free. And the dog replies, but that would make no sense. People never laugh when I tell the joke. I'm giggling here. Thank you. I wouldn't hold it against if you didn't. Alright, I'm kinda getting my comedy writing sketch part here, but you're a neuroscientist. What makes it funny? What makes it funny? The one recognized part of the brain that's worth recognizing and they call the anterior cingulate. It's not a surface. It's a little below and what is we consider our conflict detector. Anytime we're confused and overwhelmed or just we have conflicting information like in the form of a surprising punchline, this area is getting very active. Why is conflict important is in the joke. It's basically how we process things we don't understand. I mean, so much of our life is filled with conflict and not jokes. I mean, people laugh and the funeral people laugh at tragic events. And it's because these are times when we just don't know how else to respond. I mean, humor is much broader and just a stand-up routine. It's just how we look at this moment in life where things don't make sense. So, laughter is coping, bonding, licensing, anxiety. The sense of discovery, surprise, all these things. It is, and I think that's why it's so linked with health benefits as well. Now, humor hasn't always been looked up upon positively. You read that Plato and Jesus were funny. No, I mean, I really ashamed historical humor and not gotten a good rep. Someone actually counted the number of times that laughter occurred in the Old Testament. The total number is 29, and of those only the 2 are positive. In other words, Only the two occasions of joys. Well, there are debates now whether Jesus loved not just in the New Testament, but in his whole life. But is in whole life, and of course Plato, Hobbes, Nietzsche, these scholars all have very negative views towards humor, because they saw it as something that weak-minded. It's not something that serious people do. Do you do you think men and women tell jokes differently? They do. It turns out that women laugh more than men, but they're much less successful in the world of comedy. Or at least there are fewer professional female comedians, which is a shame. And people have wondered why is this what is this? Because it's certainly not that women have less a sense of humor. And one evolutionary theory is the men are raised and maybe even have an evolutionary benefit to being funny people in relationships. Women make women laugh is because it's sign of general fitness. A man who can make his partner laugh is more likely to be intelligent and a good caregiver, and that's also why women constantly rate sense of humor as number one desired traits in a mate. For men, sometimes it's closer to number three after intelligence and good looks. So women maybe aren't given the benefits and they're encouraged to be as funny as they could and shall be. You won't leave us with one less jokes? Oh my. Okay. I have had bad success with this, and in the past I will give it a try. Two fish are swimming at a tank, and one looks to the other and he says, "Do you know how to drive this thing?" Scott Wims is a cognitive neuroscientist and the author of Huh? The Scientist of When We Laugh and Why. He joined us from the Little Rock, Arkansas. Thank you for joining us. And now the audio too. The daughter and a father. Dad. What? The movie is over. You slept through the best part. I must doze after. The last few minutes. Right. You were gone so for long. You should have broke your pillow and blanket. So, what did you think about it? Well, overall, I'm a little disappointed with the movie. I mean, the story was a little bizarre. You have to admit it. I mean, really, how believable is the plot about a captain who navigates his spaceship to the far reaches of the galaxy and encounter a race of frog people? I mean, come on. I thought it was fantastic. I mean, you have to admit that the special effects were awesome and acting was bad either. Come on. What about the ship's communication officer? I mean, what did you think about him? Well, wasn't he little weird to you? He was always talking to himself and he had that funny hairdo. Well, he was a little unusual, but the ship's doctor was amazing. It was so cool when he brought the captain back to life during the one battles. That was pretty realistic, but then the rest of the movie just went from to bad to worse, and the photography was so fake. How do you know? You were not snoring so loud, like Nick Bird probably had to close their window. It was that bad. Well, let's go to the bed. And now the audio 3. It was a dreamy night of November that I beheld the accomplishment of my toils with anxiety that almost amounted to agony. I collected the instrument of life around me. that I might infuse of spark of being to lifeless thing that lay at my feet. It was already 1 of the morning. The rain patterned dismally against the panes, and my candle was nearly burned out with my glimmer and half-extinguished light. I saw the dull yellow eye of the creature open. It breathed hard as a convulsive motion against its limbs. How I can describe my emotion at this catastrophe, or how the night the runs home with such infinite pains and care I had endeavored to form his limbs in proportion, and I select his feature as beautiful. Beautiful, great God! His yellow skin scarcely conferred work of muscle and arteries beneath. His hair was a lustrous black and flowing, his teeth of pearly whiteness, but this luxuriance is formed a more horrid contrast with his watery eyes, that seems almost the same color as the dun white suit in which there were set his silvery complexion and straight black lips. The different accidents of the life are not so changeable as are the feelings of human nature. I have worked hard for nearly 2 years for the sole purpose of infusing life into inanimate body. For this, I have deprived myself to rest and health. I had desired it with an ardor that exceeded moderation, but now I that had finished, the beauty of the dream vanished, and a breathless horror and disgust filled my heart. Okay, that's all for the detail of our video. Thank you.